Is that like eating a giant snake bugger?
Yeah.
Is it tasty?
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. What do you got there, bugger? Let's see, open your hand. Oh, yeah. A little baby toad. Should we let it go in the garden so it can eat pests? You think so?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. All right, guys, Papa Pepper here at the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm heading out to the garden with my 5 oldest children today, and going to be talking a little bit today about color-coded gardening. And pretty much planting crops can be a lot of work, taking care of them, weeding, watering them, making sure the pests are not there, fertilizing them. But then you've got the whole harvesting too. Yeah, guinea. So harvesting can be quite a chore. A lot of people who kind of grew up with gardens, that's one of the tasks that they kind of remember like not liking. They just had all this stuff to pick. But one thing that we do to make it easier is we try to color code our garden. And today I'm going to show you 3 different plants. 3 different plants we're growing. And I'm going to show you kind of how this works. And as far as gardening here in the Ozarks, this is actually we only moved onto this property in September. So this garden that I'm in right now, this is only the 2nd year I've actually had it. I started putting stuff in last year, and we have been gardening for about 4 years since we, began putting our first seeds in the ground. It wasn't on this scale, and we're still not on the scale that we want to be. Actually, what I'm about to show you is a trial. So, I'm going to show you guys one thing first, because what I'm doing right now is beans, okay? So, I'm going to be doing some beans today. And I've got a variety of them growing, but if you look at a normal bean, here's one growing up these volunteer sunflower plants. This guy here will be the bean. And you can see they're green. And even compared to a completely different plant where you've got sunflower leaf, bean leaf, sunflower stalk, you can see that it's exactly the same color. Same thing over here where I've got this small archway. Now this archway is growing some half runner beans, and underneath here you can see the beans hanging. They're not that difficult to find, but I will point out that these beans are exactly the same color as the rest of the plant. Now it's not that we can't recognize shapes or do other things. You still got them? Yeah, little toad. Yeah. So it's not that we can't recognize shapes or other things. It's just that it makes it a whole lot easier, both for children and for adults, to be able to have a color-coded system. So check this out. Here is a test bed. This is a test bed that we have of Red Swan Bush Beans. And with these Red Swan Bush Beans, if you look at them, the first thing that should stick out is that you can see the flowers. The flowers stick out pretty well. But if you go down a little deeper, you'll see that the actual beans are red. So it makes it very color coded and easy to pick. And then an interesting thing about these guys too is when you cook these, they actually turn green. And the very little beans, I mean, look at my finger, very little beans are green. It's not ready, okay? They're a little green, little purple when they get a little bit bigger, but then when they're kind of fully grown, they're mostly red by the time just getting a little bit bigger. So there's definitely a good amount of them in here. Little peppers, have at it. Yeah, buddy. So here you go. If you compare this to that, you can see there's a very different color. These Red Swan Bush Beans were very easy to pick, and I don't know if you saw, but even Buddy Pepper, the little guy in there, he was going pretty hard picking his own, weren't you, Buddy? So we got those, and then right next door, these I didn't grow last year. Not sure if I grew them the year before. I grew them 2 years ago for sure. But these are a Mosaic Long Bean. And one thing about the long beans is they come out like this. Get these little flowers, but then right after that is going to be some more flowers. And they kind of keep producing. So here you can see a little bean popping out. Here you can see two more, and much like the other ones, they're pretty green. But when they get bigger, they turn into these guys, which are like this light pink. And with noodle beans and long beans, what I find is the best way to do it is just a quick twist, pops them off. More stuff can kind of keep coming from those areas if you let them grow. So I just give them a quick twist. Doesn't really take that long. And then we've got these, a little short, but I'm going to be gone for a couple days. So we'll harvest them now, and then we'll get more later. So you can see the color difference between the foliage of the leaves and the actual beans. And they're a little bit similar to those. But now we're going to the Chinese Red Noodle Beans. So if you look right now, the little peppers are under our tunnel. Last year this was used for snake gourds and bottle gourds, the birdhouse gourds, but this year we're actually growing the Chinese Red Noodle Beans on it. This is one of my top 3 garden plants. These guys are absolutely beautiful. We love them fresh, we love them cooked, we love them in soups, stir fries, we love them pickled. But here's a good example. Here's 2 mature noodle beans, and then there's a flower after that. I actually saw this morning a hummingbird coming around and pollinating some of these, and also I think ants may, because there seems to be friendly little ants that come around these plants and may have a role in the pollination too. These guys get pretty long, and up to this size they're still very tasty. So if I'm not careful, I could rip this whole thing off and that flower will never turn into the next bean. But if I just simply give them a little twist here and then a little twist here, I should be able to leave that flower intact to take care of that. And then I've got, you know, hold this up in front of Sweet Pepper's shirt. Yeah, you know, look at the length of those beans. There's a lot of reasons these are one of my top 3 garden plants. Why don't you little peppers get picking, and I'll talk a little bit about it. So these pretty much make these beautiful walls, and these are still rather young. They're still ones that are shooting up in the middle, but from the height that the littlest ones can reach, heading all the way over till eventually drooping through here, these guys run incredibly. Also, some things at this stage of the game get kind of decimated by the pests. So a lot of times we'll have the Japanese beetles that have shredded my pole beans before, but they mostly leave these alone. You can see a hole every once in a while out here in these, but for the most part they get left alone. They're able to do rather well. So the fact that they can really thrive in the heat and get all the low ones, would you, son? You see there's a couple ones that are down there that are at least big enough. But they thrive in the heat. They're pretty pest resistant, And they make a nice large bean, and it's easy to grab just a thick handful of those and just dice, 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 dice. We love adding them to like a corn salad or different types of salad stuff. Love just having them to, oops, buddy, you're picking a little too hard. Come here, son. Come here, buddy. What do you got? Yeah, yeah. We didn't really teach you the proper method yet. That's okay. We can compost that. But we'll put them in. Hey, why don't you show me how tasty these are? Can you come here? You want to nibble them up and show me? What does that taste like? The rest of you keep going. There's some on this side. Is that like eating a giant snake bugger?
Yeah.
Is it tasty?
Yeah.
Is it fresh from the garden?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's part of why we like it, right? So again though, if you look at that dark purple, careful red pepper, you're almost stepping on one.
Yeah.
Start low and work your way up. That way you don't run into that problem. Nice and easy, one at a time. Twist them off the plant. So compared to these Red Swan Bush Beans, can I see your handful, buddy? There we go. If you compare them to these bush beans in front, which are rather kind of mauve, I guess. When you go to these dark magenta ones, there's quite a, you know, check it out, quite a striking difference. They're even darker. But there is a green being very similar to this. I prefer the red just for the simple purpose of it's so much easier to pick. It looks like we cleaned them out. And then a couple days, guys, another day or two, and all these ones we left that are already 8, 9, 10 inches. That's those ones are good, guys. Leave them for a couple days. You know, these will all be ready in a couple days. So they're nice. Some of them are about already a foot, but till they fatten up and are completely ready, they're not going to be there. So you guys lift the two baskets and stand together then. So if you take a look at those guys, those are all beans. A lot of people are just familiar with green beans, but these Red Swan Bush Beans, the Mosaic Long Beans, and the Chinese Red Noodle Beans are all ones we like here. Very easy and color coded, like I said, not only for these children, but also for me to just kind of come out and evaluate. I mean, I can tell exactly what's ready on this wall in a second, where if they're the green ones, you know, I could see this from a distance. Is this one? Oh, is this one? Is this one? You know, because they're all the same color. They're all green. But it makes it very easy when they're color coded like that. So, well, was that a lot of work to harvest all those beans, kids?
No.
That's good, because you're going to do it every other day for the next couple months. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Like I said, it's just one way to get some good variety and do things a little differently. You know, we have the opportunity to grow all these different varieties, especially if you guys shop at Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company, rareseeds.com. There's so many different things that you're never going to find at the grocery store, and it gives you an opportunity to really try a lot of stuff from all around the world out there that you may not otherwise get to try. So one way that we like just color-coded gardening. Guys, there's a guinea right over there. It just ran away from this area, but look what I found. A green egg. Have you guys ever seen a guinea lay a green? Oh, you know what, guys? That's a passion fruit. Oh yeah, there's the passion flower vine next to my yacone I'm growing from Bob Nell's garden. Yeah, it's hooked up. It's hooked up to a vine. It's not ready yet. That's a passion fruit, guys. False alarm. It wasn't a green guinea egg. Oh yeah, look at that. There's more dangling in there. Oh, we'll be eating good later on. Alright guys, and just for fun, for those of you who watch all the way to the end, what I'm going to do is a little bit of trivia in this one. I'm going to ask 4 quick questions, and if you reply with all the right answers, whoever, one of the winners, I will pick to give a shout out in the next video. So, question number 1, what kind of animal did Buddy Pepper catch? Question number 2, how many different types of beans did we pick when we were out there? Question number 3, how many little peppers came with to help? And question number 4, what color egg did I think I may have found in my garden? Alright guys, one of the people who replied with correct answers to all 4 of those questions will win a shout out in one of my upcoming videos. Papa out. As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.